Hey guys, how are you doing today? So, today what I wanted to talk to you about is a reoccurring conversation that I keep having these days, especially with new influencers and new entrepreneurs to the space who are beginning to work with brands and trying to figure out what their worth is. And I had a conversation, basically one long conversation this weekend with a few different entrepreneurs, and one thing that's consistent is when you're a new entrepreneur, you I feel like every new entrepreneur struggles with how to price themselves. But not only how to price themselves, but how to price themselves in a way where they don't price themselves out of a sale, especially when you're new and especially when you don't have any other source of income. So this new entrepreneurship journey is all you got. Like me, I don't have any other source of income. Like, I make my money from doing these types of content and also shooting people and doing videos for people. So I don't have an opportunity to miss a sale, quote unquote. However, here's one thing that is for sure. The customer that is for you is for you. I want you guys to understand that you need to charge your worth. Because every time you're going to find yourself in a situation where you aren't charging your worth, you're going to find that same client is either going to be extremely difficult to work with, or you're going to find that it was a great job, but you feel exhausted and you don't feel like what you charge was worth the work you put in. So that's one of the two things you're going to feel when you don't charge your worth. So I'm going to segment this a little bit. So this can go for any entrepreneur, but I'm being specific to my big and tall men out there who are new in the space. I'm going to break down an idea that I came up with that I think should help you feel comfortable charging your worth. And the conversation that I was having with a few different influencers this weekend is understanding that you're not a general practitioner. You are a specialist. When you go to the doctor, if you have insurance, or even if you don't have insurance, but I'm going to use the insurance thing. If you have insurance and you go to the doctor and you go to the general doctor, you're going to pay, say, $20 for your copay. But when you go to a specialist, you notice it's always higher. You pay $30, $40, or $50 to see a specialist. Why? Because they are specialists in their field. That means what they do, they specialize in that. They don't do other things. They don't do, for example, you're an OBGYN, you don't then become an ear, nose, throat doctor. Those are two different kind of doctors, and they are specialists in their field. So they're respected because one does one thing, one does something else. And that's why they get paid more, because they specialize in it. So it's the same goal for you. As a big and tall model, you are a specialist. You're not just in fashion. You're not just in men's fashion. You're in big and tall men's fashion. You see how I segmented it down, which makes you a specialist. So being that you're a specialist, number one, you can charge, in my opinion, a little more than the traditional fashion people. Now, I know that some of my other entrepreneurs out there may hear this and be like, wait, hold on. The other brands may have a bigger budgets to spend. That may be the case, but you're a specialist. And if you want what this specialist has, you're going to have to pay this specialist rate. If it's not suitable for you and your brand, I respect that. You find another influencer or another brand that matches your rate, and you guys have an amazing relationship. And I think that's how it should be. There should be no hard feelings if someone doesn't have your budget. This thing keep going around social media saying like my worth is not based on your budget. And it's true. It's not. Your worth is not based on someone else's budget. If you charge $1,000 to do a campaign and someone's budget's only $500, then they need to find an influencer that their budget is $500, because that's not you. So I want to break down another strategy that will help you figure out how to charge what you're worth, because that's another conversation that I keep having with influence, how to charge what you're worth. And what I did was I had the influencer I was talking to, I had them break down their monthly budget. And they said, I asked them a general question. How much does it cost you to live every month? And he said, $2,000. I said, okay. So if it costs you $2,000 a month, that's approximately $500 a week. So if you're doing a sponsored post for someone and they want, say they want let's say they want 2 sponsored posts for the month, right? And you know, let's say that's the only partnership you're gonna get for the month. Then if you, depending on what your followers look like, it would be perfectly okay to tell that brand, hey, I wanna charge you, let's say $500 for each post, for example. That's a really general example because of course a lot of this is based on your numbers. And I've heard a lot of different theories, but one good place to find out what you should be charging is 4Card. They have, once you authenticate your account, they pretty much look at your followers, see what your engagement is like, see what your reach is like, and they'll give you a pretty accurate number that will tell you how much you should charge per post. And my understanding has always been that it's $25 per 1,000 followers. So if you have 4,000 followers, you should be charging $100 per post, basically, is how that math breaks down, because it's $25 is times 4 is $100. So if you have 4,000 followers, you should be charging $100 per post. So you can use that example as a starting point. Now, of course, like I said, you are specialists, and even in big and tall, your segment could get even smaller. So say you're a big and tall fashion blogger that specifically blogs about shoes, then you just got even more segmented into it. So if you feel like your audience is strong enough that you say, hey, get these shoes, and they listen to your influence, you can charge even more than the $25 per 1,000 because you are only talking about shoes. So I just wanted to bring that to you guys' attention. I didn't want to be long on this one. I just kind of wanted you guys to understand how to get your footing in this business. I know that for a lot of the newbies out there, you hear a lot of different things about what you should be doing. So I also wanted to talk, one little caveat before I go, I wanted to talk about working for free, because this comes up so often in conversations about working for free. Yes, there's not a problem with working for free. My whole first year in business, I worked for free. I took photos for free. I took people's event photos. I took people's blog post photos for free. You know why? Because what I was doing was gaining experience, becoming an experienced photographer. It's very simple, like becoming an intern, where you're learning the ropes. And then once you learn the ropes, then either that if the company has a position, they generally offer you a position in the company, or you take that experience and you go somewhere else and say, hey, look, I have experience. Unpaid or paid is still experience. So yes, I feel it is okay to work for free. If a brand reaches out to you and they want to test you out, see how you work within their brand scope, it's okay to work for free for one campaign to see, how it goes, what your reach is like, see how you produce content. Do you go above and beyond? All of those things are okay. And vice versa, test out the brand, see how they respond, if the post goes well or if it doesn't go well, because it's a two-way relationship. You have to feel like they're a good fit. They have to feel like you're a good fit. So those are all things to keep into consideration. But I definitely would not agree to continuing to work for brands for free, because I personally, as a photographer and a blogger and a model, I guess, quote unquote, not really the last one, but nonetheless, it's a lot of work that goes into producing the content that you see here. Even this YouTube video, I spent almost an hour trying to figure out how to get my camera to autofocus. So if I had a sponsored content that I had to get done, I'm already frazzled coming on today because I knew I had to get this done because I wanted a YouTube video to go up. I haven't had one in a few months. So say this was a sponsored post. I had to do all that. It has to get done, especially for videos. You can spend 2 to 4 hours editing a 1-minute video that goes on IG. So you have to think about your time, not only on the front end, but the back end. If you're not the editor of the video and you have to pay someone, you have to think about their costs too. If you're not your own photographer, you have to pay a photographer. You have to pay videographers. So when brands are telling you to work for free, I don't think that's fair. I'm not saying they should offer you some high astronomical amount of money based on where your followers are, but they should at least hand you enough money to take care of an hour's worth of time and your photographer's time at minimum. Because if they were doing the work themselves, they would have to scout location, they would have to pay for interns, assistants, they would have to rent out locations, get permits, pay assistants, pay photographers, videographers to show up on set for 1 day of shooting. Something that you're providing for them for nothing. I think that exchange alone deserves a dollar amount, just based on that. So, like I said, I didn't want to be long-winded with this one. I just want to thank you guys for continuing to support the XL Tribe brand. We are growing in astronomical ways I cannot even begin to pronounce. So one more thing I wanted to throw in there. So we're actually going on tour. So if you see this video, I'm either on the first leg or the second leg of my tour, depending on when you watch this video, if it's in 2019. So I would, if I'm coming to a city near you and you want to shoot with me, just click the link below. I'm going to put the link directly to where you can book. The tour price is only $110. I'm giving you 3 looks, which I already know is a steal. Honestly, it is. So head over to that, book your slot, and thanks so much for supporting XL Tribe. Until next time.